What's up, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Duality Podcast, where we grow from the inside out, we turn our dreams into reality, and we stop all the wishing and we start taking action. And these topics, in these episodes, we like to cover leadership, entrepreneurship, growth mindset, and taking your life to the next level. So today's topic, the episode name is called Not Caring What Other People Think. That's exactly what we're going to be discussing. But before we get into all that great information, we first need to step into the arena of fire. And if you have been listening, I also want you to step into the arena of fire, because if you have been saying that you need to be doing some things and you are constantly saying it every single week and you're not taking action, guys, you have to have some self-awareness. And this is where the arena of fire comes into play, where we hold each other accountable week by week, right? So we can burn, we can develop processes, we can figure out a plan. You have a group of people here and we can make things happen for you. So with that being said, who's going to step in first?
I'll step in right now. I'm moving along with I bought the audio book. I got that going. Not the most exciting voice, but it's moving along.
What book is it? What book again? Let them know the book again.
Yeah, it's the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and it's like the success stories of something. It's a long, it's like a series, and they did this one on Dwayne Johnson. I know we did a little bit of what we learned last time when we talked about him, but some other stuff in there. So again, really great stuff as far as overcoming adversity and stuff like that. And so it's pretty good.
What about your fitness?
Fitness, he's been hard this week. I did get a run in last week. I think it was Friday or Saturday. I got it in. I was proud of myself too. But this week it's been tough. So every day is a challenge. So we'll do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday. You did it last Friday. Let's do it this Friday.
I know. Well, I'm hitting Fridays. So that's where I'm at, man.
All right, man. Well, keep the grind going, brother. Keep the grind going. Is there anything that you should be doing that you're not doing?
I would say I was spending time with my family. That's one of the things. I used to have like more time blocked for them. So right now it's just pretty much the weekend that I'm doing that. So just quality time with like kids, wife. So that's probably the ones last night I went to SeaWorld. So that was like something that we needed to do as going out as a family. And so we did that, but that's probably the thing I need to improve on the most for sure.
Cut it off at a certain time, baby.
I know.
Right. That's one of the things I've, back in the day when I was like about to get, what's that word called? Where you get overstressed from work? Burnout? Work burnout?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I almost got that. And like, I had gotten some guidance where it's like that 7:45 p.m. time. I text everyone and let them know that my phone's going to be off. Like, you can get through to me if I think you text me like 3 times back to back, it'll let it through. But if it's not that serious, then I'll see you at 8 a.m. in the morning. Well, not me personally, but my phone will let you in at 8 a.m. I haven't done it recently because I've been feeling amazing. But Chris, what's up, brother?
Yeah, the reading, I've been on top of that. Probably about a third of the way through the book already after starting on Monday. As far as fitness goes, like I was telling Jonathan earlier, like I was able to play my first volleyball game, which was a lot of fun. It was great to be out there. Definitely a different type of cardio for that, like your stamina for that. I think probably I was also a little congested from we got a cold, so but it was a good workout. As far as the rest of the week, though, I've been coughing nonstop. I've been so congested I've been struggling to breathe, so I haven't worked out the rest of this week. But I'm feeling a little better now, so I'm hoping tomorrow I'll be good to go and work out tomorrow.
All right, brother. And we're getting a little bit closer, guys. If you're following along with our real estate journey, we're one day away from getting our house appraised. And then after that, we should have like a secured closing date. Right now, our closing date is coming around 18th, Monday, the suggested closing date, but that's a suggested closing date. So hopefully tomorrow, we should get the final, like, yo, this is the date. And then it's gonna be that's a real moment, guys. So for some of y'all, it may seem like just a year journey, but it's actually been in the works for about 2 to 3 years of just having that idea and making sure like everything is being put in the right spot and creating and developing and learning and getting in the right network and getting around people to help you push to that next level. But I'm just glad that we're here, right? Brick by brick. Yep. Brick by brick. For me, stepping into the arena of fire, guys, every arena of fire it's been great with me stepping in, just because 75 hard, that crazy challenge where you have to do self-development, fitness, and water, and literally every habit that you could possibly do that's great for you. This is a requirement. So I'm on day 46 out of 75. And that's just holding you accountable. There's days where I'm sick, but we still get it done. And it may not be the best, but it's getting it done. And, for example, something in the air. I don't know what it is. My whole family's congested. The whole family is a little sore throat. We got boogers, like we're not feeling too great. And I almost did not work out. I want to say Tuesday morning. I went in the sun. I sat in the car 5 minutes. That's how you know I don't want to work out, is when I get to the gym, I sit in the car. Well, that right there is like an indicator, like this may not go your way. So if I get the courage to go in the car, and then I go again to sauna, I was like, hey, I need to like wake my body up. So let me go again to sauna. Well, I fell asleep for like 2 minutes in the sauna, like, because it felt so good. I was like, all right, it's time to get out of the sauna. It's feeling too good, too relaxing. I was like, all right, let's go foam roll. Let's go cause some pain to wake you up. Well, I slept on top of the foam roller, not fucking lying, for 10 minutes straight. 10 minutes in the stretching area, and nobody bothered to check on me if I was okay.
Oh, dang.
Like, I'm passed out. Like, the foam roller is underneath me, and I'm just laid out, just gone. Now, maybe somebody tried to wake me up. I have no idea, but I didn't feel anybody. And then,
that's crazy.
So I was like, all right, listen, I got to do something. It may not be the best workout, but I got to just get my first rep in. So I literally wasted a whole hour of just like intermittent sleeping in the gym. Intermittent sleeping in the gym at different spots. So that's how bad it was. Like, if I wasn't doing 75 hard, I would have said, fuck it. Today's not my motherfucking day. Let's just move on to the next day. Because I'm very good at jumping back on, right? And I think this most people struggle with, is jumping back on, because they'll let that thing leak 2 to 3 days. I'm very good at like, hey, I'll find another time during the day, or I'll just come back tomorrow. But because of 75 hard, I was like, yo, I gotta move. And so I ended up doing the workout. And yeah, but we are back. So you might hear some sniffling, you might see some mochos coming out my nose, but hey, we gotta get this party started, guys. And I'm super excited to talk about this topic, because I feel a lot of us struggle with caring too much what people think, and how this can like really hold you back in life, and really having this feeling of happiness, unfulfillment. No matter how many achievements that you may come across, it's like it's never good enough, because they're not the achievements that you really want. And maybe you're chasing a standard, maybe you're looking at the Joneses, and maybe we're just comparing ourselves too much, and we're holding ourselves back from being our true self, because you're too scared to think you're too scared to think what people think about you, or the perception, the judging, all that stuff, guys, is holding you back. And so today we're going to talk about experiences with not caring what people think, and how we overcame it, maybe how we haven't overcame it, but what are we doing about it? What did we learn this past week when studying this topic? And so we're just here going to share you some life experiences, and how to break that chain and really live your purpose, live your life, no matter what people think. So I want to start off with you guys. Do you have any kind of experiences about caring what people think, and how you felt in that moment, and what did you do about it, or what are you doing right now about it?
Yeah, I think, I think a lot of folks, like you mentioned, kind of struggle with in some form or fashion, right? There's always a perception that you want to maintain with other people. Like you want other people to view you in a certain, light, right? So So sometimes, depending if it's professionally at work or friends, family, we always have that, that in the back of our minds, like, oh, I gotta, paint this picture of who I am. But then you gotta ask yourself, like, is this the true me, right? So a lot of growth there that needs to happen, and it's very common for me, I guess. When you first started thinking of what people think, it's like middle school, high school, you want people to like you. You got, cute girls there, friends or whatever. You want, be tough or do whatever it is that you want to, to be known and be popular or, and stuff like that. So that was for me the first experiences of, caring what people thought, right? I wanted to be, friends with everyone, be cool. And, there's, some people that did certain things that I wasn't like 100% in with. They're like, oh man, I don't think I should be doing this. But because, you want to impress, you don't want to be like the outcast, you kind of go along with it. And then after you're like, crap, I don't think I should, I didn't feel good about that, So that was like my first experiences of like kind of giving in to, hey, I want people to like me. I'm going to do this, even though that's not me.
I think most people in general, it starts off in school, right? Because there's no mental development being done about how to overcome these things, right? So we just give in to what's cool, what's popular, because that's all we know. Nobody's teaching us, hey, that may not be the best route, right? Nobody's teaching us that that's not really the standard. It's the standard is what you want to create the standard. And so I think we all fall into that middle school trap. But are there any experiences that you had as an adult where you're like, man, maybe I cared too much what this person thought in that moment, right? And then force you to do something you really didn't want to do? Does that ring a bell?
Man, let me think. I'm pretty sure I had some instances.
And it maybe not. You've done a lot of self-development, like Vic, like you've been into management, you've been into leadership, you've been into entrepreneurship, and that forces growth. So maybe, you've overcome during some period in your adult life where it really doesn't affect you, which is why I hang out with this group, right? Because you guys are you're very control. You know who you are, right? All the four of us, we know who we are. And that's why you complement who I want to be. And so that's why I hang out with this group, because you don't let me or anybody else dictate what Victor does. Victor's going to do Victor. And that's what I love about you guys. So maybe you just have some development there, brother.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I do care what, like certain people think of me. I will say this. How about this? I would say when it comes to my parents, I have a tough time. Have a tough time voicing like my thoughts, because it might clash with them. And as my personality is, I don't like that clash per se, especially with like my parents. So I would say that was probably the one that probably I might switch or change or not say things just to kind of like not like rock the boat. So kind of compromise what I think or not my beliefs per se, but more of like, I'm gonna like say this.
You're going to hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, hey, so parents is a big one, guys, because you want to make them happy ultimately, right? You don't ever want to make your parents upset. And some people even go to so far where their parents want them to be something and they end up going to try to achieve what their parents want them to be, and it's not really who they are. But they've gone to that point where they're already in that position that their parents wanted, and now they're stuck. Right now they're living a life that their parents wanted them to live, and now they're getting all these achievements. Maybe they're having a great lifestyle, but inside here, like they're hurting. Like inside here, I really didn't want to be that doctor. Inside here, no matter the money, no matter the lifestyle, no matter the cars, no matter the achievements and the awards, you're not who you want to be. Right. So Victor, being around those parents, not really who you want to be. There's kind of like this, you can't really be yourself. And at the end of the day, that's not how we want to live life. But also, you have to do it in a way where, you're not going to, you don't want to intentionally clash with somebody, right? And that's called humility, brother. You got some great humility. You know what to say, when to say it around your parents, and have that respect. Which I love you guys. All you guys have that amazing respect. I tend to be just a little bit more forward, and how even to my parents, even to my parents, everybody thinks I'm like freaking crazy. That when they're around my family and I speak to them, they're like, they look at me, they give me that eye, like, you really talking to your parents like that? I was like, well, I'm grown. I'm grown. I do it respectfully. They know I'm doing out of respect. I'm not doing disrespectfully, but I have my own opinion. I'm my own person, and you have yours, and I respect you. You stand strong for who you believe in. This is what I got. I love you at the end of the day, no matter what. Don't take it personal. Anyways, Chris, experiences, how you go through it? Are you still going through it? What'd you do to overcome it?
I mean, I would say that, like, honestly, it's like every time you get put into a new environment, you kind of always worry a little bit about the people that are going to be around you. So you like Vic mentioned earlier, like when you're a kid, obviously in school, especially when you like the girl for the first time, like you want to impress them, you care about what they think. And then as you get older, it's like for me, going into high school was a big one, because not only was I just going into high school, I moved away from the only place that I knew. So I knew no one going in besides like my parents and my brother. So having to make completely new life for ourselves, like that was a challenge, and like not knowing how people are going to act in the new town that you're in and all that. And then college, same thing. Like you go off and know no one again, and you have to reestablish yourself. So yeah, I'd say like just those new environments, like, and then moving out here to Austin, that was a bit of a challenge early on. Especially, it's so much different than California. Even though Austin's what they consider the California of Texas, like it's still really different than anywhere else I've ever lived. But so you just have to kind of watch what you say and figure out how people's personalities are. And like I've always kind of been like that. I guess I've been just more aware of that, especially since I do have a dirty humor, and not everyone's gonna like that. So I have to watch what I joke about sometimes. But yeah, I mean
You
that's the biggest
experience
thing.
it. You have so well, in your past, you frequently had to come into new environments, right?
Yeah.
Whether you move, whether you go to college, whether you just jump into a new position, a new job, you move into a new neighborhood. During those situations, have you been put in a situation where you felt like you just couldn't be yourself because maybe it was too much?
Uh, I think sometimes like when I would, like if I'll go try to, like I'll meet up with a group of people that I'm not that familiar with, and like certain people, like you instantly feel that connection and you can just talk to them however. But then other groups of people, like they either might seem more pretentious or they're just different than you, and you feel like you can't express yourself the way you want to because you don't know how they're going to react to it. um so I would say those are like the biggest things, like just when you don't feel that instant connection with someone, like being yourself.
When you have those moments where you can't be yourself, do you really want to hang out with those people again?
Depends. Sometimes, but a lot of time, not really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very uncomfortable not being able to be yourself. This guy, I'm a lot. And so I used to have to like be reserved and fill out the group. But now like it doesn't even matter anymore. Like whether they like me or don't like me, people are going to be attracted to who I am for who I am. Like if they like me, great. If they don't like me, hey, awesome. I love you too. Right. And so I think judging is harsh, and everybody's going to judge no matter what, but we have no control what other people think, like whatsoever. We have no control. Um,
Exactly.
I have a couple of situations, and the first situation I want to speak about comparing myself to others and how it held me back for a very long time and how it was so hard for me to let it go. I, being super competitive, wanted to be number one at everything I did. I was competitive with money, competitive with my house, competitive with everything. I was trying to keep up with the Joneses and be, man, that guy is making it, right? There's this social, this standard that I think most people in society try to achieve. Go to school, go to college, get a career, get a car, get a house, get a family. Boom. Right. Those are all these standards that you're trying to achieve. And then my perception is, bet I'm going to do it. I'm going to get all this stuff, and I'm going to get all this stuff early. Right. So it looks like I'm this great success. And everything but college. Went to college for like 2 semesters, like booked it. Like I'm out. But got all the things, got the career, got all the things, got the house when I was 21 or 20. Can't remember, 20, because I remember getting wasted on my 21st birthday and banging a big hole in the wall from walking in. That it was like, be quiet, don't go in the house too loud, the kids are sleeping. I was like, okay, open the door, boom, big wall, a big hole in the wall. Anyways, I was 20 years old, had the car, had the house, had the family, was doing things, was going out to eat, just looked good, felt good, just felt amazing. But I was trying to keep up with the Joneses, and I cared so much what people thought of me. I didn't want anybody to think that Jonathan was not doing great. And for 20 to 26, 27, 26, for 6 years, I lived this crazy life, but inside I was so broken. I was so lost. I was broke, living paycheck to paycheck. Bills were stacking up, all because I cared so much what people thought of me. And I didn't want people to think that I'm having to regress. Jonathan's having to get a cheaper car. I'm having to get a smaller house. Jonathan can't take his kids and spend a couple of $1,000s on select baseball. Like, I was so caught up, and I did not want to downgrade my lifestyle, because everyone, I say everyone because I'm feeling like everyone's watching me. Everyone's looking at me. Everyone's like, I want to be like Jonathan. And man, I put my family in a hole. I put for 6 years, I was just getting caught up in this world of struggle. And it just kept piling up because I didn't want to let go what I thought other people looked at me as.
And
I didn't want
honestly,
to let it go.
that's a cultural thing too. Like I've seen it on, especially like on my dad's side, like the Middle Eastern side. I've seen it like a lot of my Asian friends, like family members and stuff. Like you'll see that they'll have the Lexus, the BMW, the Mercedes, and they'll wear like the Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all that. But then you see where they actually live, and they're like living in tiny apartments, and they want to keep that image. So like they're spending all their money on all these superficial things that doesn't even matter, just to keep up that appearance, and because they do care about what others think about them. But then they're all in apartments or tiny homes, and like it's a normal for them because they just show off everything else besides like their place.
Yeah. Well, financially, not having the financial literacy, man, do you know how much money I wasted trying to keep up with an image? Do you know I could have been where I wanted to be maybe 5 years ago if I would have just done exactly what you're supposed to do with money, right? The blueprint to finance, creating assets that cash flow monthly, causing generation wealth as a 20-year-old, stacking doors, getting properties. Like, it would have been insane if somebody told me, hey, Jonathan, live off 20% of what you make. And if you can't do that, then don't buy anything. Like, if it's so wild. I was having a conversation. I was working out, and I was in a nice, very nice neighborhood, and it was in Round Rock, and very nice neighborhood, expensive houses. And I was working out in mid-morning group, and there was a guy there, and we were talking finance, and we're talking about, generational wealth, and we're talking about properties. And I was saying how, man, if only people knew they couldn't retire with their 401k, right? Because majority of the population don't put enough money into their 401k. Even if you had $1 million in there, I was trying to do the math. I think it was like end up $40,000 a year for like 6-7 years, and you'd be broke again. Like, that's crazy, right? That's super insane.
I've done that math before too,
like that's super insane. I have $1 million in my bank account. Like, I'm good for the rest of my life. Which $40,000 a year, like, bro, like what your current living standard is, like 80, 90, or to even 100, like that current living style.
Yeah.
And so it was insane. Well, anyways, I was like, yeah, most people like think they got it, and they got to go back to work. and they got to downgrade their entire life, or the stuff like that happens, right? Real life, or they can't even retire at all. Let's just put it that way. They can't retire at all because they never put the money in. And he was all like, nope. He's like, not everyone. He's all like, my dad taught me young. He's like, I put 50% away for years, 50% of my income for years. I almost
Wow.
still do it to this day. And I looked and I was like, I was like, man, the environment that his father put him in early on, like, set him up. Like, at that point, 401k could potentially be a big thing for him and his family to just continue. And he's already talking about assets and all that great stuff. But anyways, the moral of the story is, I totally forgot what the moral of the story is. Oh, I could have been, doing things right early on, but I've wasted 6 years of trying to keep up with the Joneses and think what everybody cares. In reality, what I came to find out through growth, through learning, is that honestly, nobody really gives a fuck about me. And the people I was trying to impress, they don't even really care about me. Like, why am I trying to impress people that don't even like me?
Yeah, that's one thing that I was going to say later on, is that's one of the biggest things. Like it's incredible, like how much you worry about how people think, but they really don't think about you much at all.
You want to know a
They're
crazy
more
fact?
concerned about themselves.
Yeah, people have about, when I was researching this topic, people have about 50,000 thoughts a day. 50,000. And they said if they even decide to think about you maybe once or 3 times a day, that's a whole lot. If you're thinking about somebody else 3 times a day, that's a whole lot. That's only 0.02% of what they actually think about you. 0.02%. And that's if like they're obsessed with you. Thinking about you guys 3 times a day, judging you to just to judge you. Like, that's a whole, like, so that was an ego thing. Put your ego to the side. You're not fucking special, Jonathan. Nobody really cares about what the fuck you're doing. Nobody cares if you make it or not, because they're so wrapped up. If they're trying to make it, they're so wrapped up in their own shit. They don't have time for your shit. And it took me forever to realize that. It took me forever. But then it hit me like a ton of bricks. That moment, I was like, man, it got to the point so much. I drove a minivan, a 2001 minivan, broken down. It was like 2 inches from the ground, had all my workout equipment in there. It's over 1,000 pounds just weighing that bad boy down. And it's busted looking, guys. Windows didn't work. Doors had to open from the outside. It looked cracked out. And so I was so embarrassed to go to the gym in it, because sometimes I just had to go from leading camp to straight to the gym. I would park in the back and I would wait until no cars would show up. And sometimes I had to wait like 5 minutes in the car because I didn't want nobody to see me getting out of it.
I know that, man. That's crazy.
I was wasting time. I was letting other people waste. That's how much of an ego I had. Like, it was so stupid how much time wasted, how much money wasted, how much I put my family through because I had this ego of wanting to look a certain way. And now I park right in the front, man. I don't have the minivan anymore, but I got that beat up little red Ruby over there. Red Ruby.
You know what? Yeah, and I think a lot of people struggle with the same thing. It could be ego, and also just wanting to impress, just like wanting to impress every time. Like, hey, when people look at me, I want them to know, like, oh, look at that guy, look at that girl over there, or stuff like that. You want people to have your attention in a way that you're impressing.
That's called
and I
people
think
pleasing.
Yeah, but also it's not even like people pleasing, but it's like a drug. Like, you like that attention of like, oh, look at him. You're like, once you got a taste of that, sometimes some people get addicted to that attention, and we're like, oh, okay, I press him or her. All right, I want that feeling all the time. So you end up like trying to keep up that image for like a long time. And even though that's not like, who you really are, but you're still trying to impress. But again, you're not, but there's facets of your life that you're not paying attention to that could be like finances or whatever that's holding you back. You're holding yourself back because this little piece of image that you're trying to hold on to, like it's really nothing compared to what you should be focusing on and putting your energy on.
But that's deep.
It's also not even just about those, like not the ego and just having that itch for the attention. It's also insecurities for a lot of people. Like you're so insecure about your own self, you pretend to be someone else that you're not.
Yeah.
Just because you want them to like you, so you don't feel like you're so insecure about who the person that you are, that you try to make up this other character that you think that people are going to like. And you don't really need to do that, because you're gonna find the people that like you for who you are.
Yeah. You know how exhausting it is trying to be something you're not?
Dude, it's I think it's crazy. I think it's, yeah. And then because yeah, like I've known, like I always do, like a friend in high school that like she would wear, I'm not saying that's bad, but like just she would wear like a bunch of makeup. She had to keep an image, right? And I asked her, like, why do you like wear like so much makeup like all the time? Like you don't have to, you know. She's like, no, you know, I have to look this way. So she said, I have to look this way. Like those two words right there, like I have to. In my mind was like, sounds like work.
Yeah.
You know,
You should have
it's not even like, yeah.
gave her some confidence, said, you know what? I'll date you without that makeup. That's why what she needed. She just needed some reassurance, some confidence that she didn't need this. She could pull Victor. The
Yeah,
ball
long time ago.
basketball player.
But like that type of reminds me of people that have that image. You know, they want to. They have this mind like I have to do this. Like I have to. You know,
Or
do
nobody's
this.
gonna like
You
me.
really don't.
The reality is people are gonna like you more for who you are because you're standing up for yourself, right? That's always the
Yeah.
case. When you speak out about something you truly care about and you're not caring what other people think, people become attracted to that. That's called attraction. When people would try to be people pleasers, like you smell it, you know it. Like you know it. You don't want to stand up because you're just gonna ride with me with whatever I say, you're gonna do it. And you think that I'm going to like it more, but in reality, I'm like, you can smell it all over. I'm gonna
Yes,
like you probably
seems like
least because you
desperation.
agree with
Yeah.
me with everything I said. All right, man, I got big muscles. Man, John, you got big muscles. What'd you say? Nah. So guys, you know, we like to share our experiences. This is real life stuff, guys, that's holding you back to the next level. And we want to be able to make sure we give you some solutions, right, from our research of, you know, how to break through this feeling and live your best life and be you, and knowing that it's totally okay to be you, no matter who you are, what you believe in. It's your life. You only have one life to live. And I want you to be sure that you got to live it to your fullest and to be your full self. And so before we get into no, we're going to go ahead and get to some more solutions because we just spoke about our life experiences, what we kind of did about them. But I want to go, you know, off the back, you know, maybe just one little nugget, how to overcome not caring what people think.
I think you guys got to kind of search inward a little bit and kind of put things on like chips on the table to where if you know if the thing that you're holding on to, right, it's not really self filling, right? It's not filling you. It's like, man, I'm really getting tired of, you know, being, you know, this sort of person that's not really me, right? You know, kind of evaluate kind of where you at, right? Is for example, you know, if I have to drive the nice car because, you know, nice cars in your mind is gonna, you know, have that view of success or whatever. You know, but if it's like keeping you broke, you know, from not really achieving what you want, then that's probably not an image you want to sustain. So really kind of self-assessing. All right, what makes me happy? What do I really want to do? What do I want to achieve? You know, is this, if I keep doing this 10 more years, like where am I going to be at? Am I still going to be, you know, feeling this way? Maybe I need to change something. And so I kind of always go back to that too, you know,
because it's a good place to start. It's taking it's you getting an out of body experience, looking at yourself from up top and like, yo, seeing the bird's eye view, becoming a boss, becoming a CEO, and really looking at the entire picture, right? I think that nobody wants to look at the entire picture because there's some stink on it, right? There's some smudges that they don't want to see, right? So should always be the first step is let's evaluate who we are, what do we want. I just want to add a little bit before Chris adds on to that one, is that when you self-assess, you got to make sure you know where you're going. You need to have some core values, because the reason why you're probably trying to people please everyone is because you don't even know what you want in life. You don't have any goals, you don't have any standards, you don't have any you, right? You're not rooted to anything. Therefore, you keep caring what other people think, because other people are your values, and that should not be your values, guys. You should have your own person. You should have your own core values. You should have your own mission in life. It doesn't matter if Victor agrees with you. It doesn't matter if I agree with you. If it's you, right?
That's good.
You got Chris.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is gonna sound repetitive. We've talked about it many times, but it's shifting your mindset.
Self-development.
Yeah, it's shifting that mindset. So like realizing that like other people's opinions don't really matter. They're just opinions. Or like just realizing like, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Like if someone doesn't like you, like they don't like you, or you might not get that job. There's going to be other jobs available. Like, and then just like also a lot of time people try to go for perfection, and they need to just let go of that perfection, because like no one's going to be perfect, especially not at everything. So yeah, you just need to realize that just be the best version of yourself, and things will fall in line for you.
John Maxwell says success is not the achievement. Success is taking your first foot step forward, whether it be a failure or whether it be a success. Success is you moving one foot in front of the other. And so
Yeah,
that
John
perfection.
Maxwell says a lot of good things. Like he has a lot of good quotes. Yeah.
I just finished his leadership conference past Friday. So I got a lot of good nuggets from this guy, man. He's phenomenal dude. But I want to add a couple more, unless you guys have one. So I'm just going to say one. And it's something like, Chris said, the answers to most of our topics are repetitive because it's self-development. And it's a workflow that you should always work through. It's a workflow. With everything that you have in your life, there's like a workflow. You should probably write it down, so that way, hey, if I'm running into a problem, let's look at this workflow. Oh, this is how we accomplish goals. Is surround yourself with people that you want to be, right? So if I know that Victor is true to himself, he's honest, he has core values, and I'm struggling because I've had this ego and I care about people thinking about me. Well, let's surround myself with more Victors, right? Let's surround myself with people that I want to be more of, so that way we can vibe off each other, because you already know you most likely you're in an environment that are people like you, right? It's just the rule of the circle. Who Zig Ziglar, you hang with chickens, you can become a chicken, something like that. And you hang with eagles, you're gonna soar with eagles, right? And so if you're the smartest person in your group, shame on you. You got to put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you're not, so there's opportunities to grow. And that was one big nugget, guys. Put yourself in the right environment. You got to. Anybody else got another one?
I think also just kind of in the same realm of what you're saying, evaluate like the people you hang out with in your environment. If you feel like you're giving, like, and you're not really getting some back, they should evaluate that, that environment where, you're giving, right? Meaning that you're always trying to impress, you're always trying to do something, but you don't feel like you're getting that back. I think you also should evaluate kind of who, like, that environment, right? So maybe you're not being yourself, right? Maybe you just, you have these friends or this circle of friends that, like, you have to be this certain personality or this certain, image, right? Like, Chris was saying, like wearing Gucci or whatever, like you want to keep that friends, because if they see you dress something different, they might not be your friends. Like, so, analyzing who you hang out with, like, is that, bringing in a positive impact to your life?
Shoot them a text right now. Say we ain't friends no more. I'm just playing.
No, yeah, so I think a lot of reasons, or a big reason why a lot of people care too much about what people think about them, is because of anxiety. And Bruce Lee had a good point. Like he was saying, like anxiety is the product of what is versus what could be. So the best way to reduce anxiety is to clear your head of what could be and just think about what is.
I appreciate that. I'm going through anxiety right now with this business plan. Could be.
Yeah, focus on the moment of doing, not winning.
All right,
That
well, I'm
was
gonna
just-
do it. I'm gonna blow it up.
Yeah, I would say one other thing. I think in this day and age, like social media and a lot of like exposure and stuff like that, you see other people being a certain way or living a certain way. So not caring so much of what the culture or what and you see like out there on Instagram or whatever, social media platform. Not thinking like, oh man, that person hasn't made, because some of these people like that's not their stuff. Like that's not their house in the
They
background.
fake all of it, brother. Instagram is
Yeah.
90% of it's fake, photoshopped, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
glad
so
you brought
fake.
that up.
I saw a picture of people in line to stand in a photo setting booth that looked like you're in a jet.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So they can take their Instagram photo or take their whatever photo and look like they're made it big inside of a jet. Like it was like just a piece of a jet.
Or like when Bow Wow stood in front of a jet that he wasn't even going to be flying it. He ended up flying like economy or something like that.
Well,
And he got called out on it.
hey, at least he's standing next to a real jet.
Right. But I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was actually a topic that I had wanted to bring up, and it's totally slipped my mind. But yeah, like social media has made it so much worse for people, like when it comes to caring about what other people think, because everyone wants to they get that's like you kind of mentioned, like, oh, they like me. So every time you get a like on a picture, or like if you get a bunch of likes, you feel good about it. And then like, you never post like the negative stuff. You always post the good things, or the
highlight
you
reels.
said. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The highlight reels, or like you said, like they're pretending, like they're not even like really living that lifestyle. Like,
yeah. And sometimes you feel like you're sort of in like to like what Jonathan was saying, like in a competition, right? You see like your friends or they're, you're someone there like posted, oh, we're here, we did this or doing that. You're like, damn, like, what am I doing? Like that now you're carrying what they're doing, and you're getting, and then you're like trying to keep up.
and it's not even competition; it's just comparing yourselves to them,
Comparing,
and like,
comparison, yeah,
and you might just feel like envious if they're doing things that you wish you were doing, and like, I mean, that's a natural feeling to have, because obviously everyone wants better for themselves. But at the same time, like, you just got to realize that everyone has a different path in life, and you just need to just follow your path.
Well, I'm gonna keep it 100 with everyone. Problem can be solved with self-development. Right? Learn about a particular problem that you have, get some wisdom, get some counsel, get some guidance, and work through those problems. And then social media will not be just a negative thing anymore. It could be a positive thing and a real life thing if you have that growth mindset. Right? So I know social media is causing a big dent in depression, anxiety, and all that great things, but the root cause is how we view that. It's the perception of how we view it. And if you keep working on growing and understanding, and you do the workflow of accountability, reevaluating, get some wisdom, get some counsel, and keep one step at a time as progress. And that's what this podcast is about. This is helping us get 1% better every single day. This was a struggle that most people deal with, including ourselves. How do we find solutions? Easy. We find solutions by we're in an era of information overload. There's Google, there's YouTube, there's books, there's audibles, there's Blinklists. There's 1,000 different resources that you can go and find and look up, guys. Take that action. If you're struggling, take the action, and let's find some solutions. But other than that, guys, I wanted to appreciate and thank you guys for jumping on the Zoom session, and everyone listening from wherever you guys are. Much appreciated, much love. And you were born to be great, so be great. Quoting Mr. Ian. Ian, we miss you, and prayers to your family, brother. We out.